Hello, and welcome to No Longer a People Pleaser. My name is Tina Rose, and I have been summoned to change the trajectory of your life by coming on YouTube and providing content around my life story and all the places that I've healed and the places I need to heal. Being raised in childhood trauma and especially around the neglect, emotional neglect, and emotional covert abuse, we learn that there's a hidden danger behind love. So, this is what I want to talk about today. I want to do my best to present what I've been feeling as of late and what my higher self is putting into my path, dropping in my path. My higher self wants to continue to heal, and my soul wants to continue to heal. And this is what I choose. This is my intention. So, growing up, we learned that, there was always an ulterior motive. What do they want from me? They were loving us from a wounded place, from their own childhood trauma. And this taught us things, this conditioned us in ways that now, as adults, we're kind of stuck in those patterns. And we have to retrain our minds and retrain our bodies. We have to retrain our nervous system. Because receiving is hard for us to do. At least it was for me. I feel like it will be for others. I always was the giver. I learned that I had to give and not have any needs of my own in order to be safe, feel safe. And on the flip side, as a result, it became difficult for me to receive. I learned that receiving isn't safe because it costs me something later. Therefore, I was really good at not believing compliments. I couldn't take a compliment. I turned down offers for help. Oh, no, I got that 45-pound box that's big, half the size of a refrigerator. I can get that, no problem. I refused help. I would freeze if someone showed affection. I would gasp internally, and I didn't know how to process it. And I couldn't take generosity. For example, I drove someone for over a week back and forth to work. They worked at a different place, and their car was broken down, so I drove them every day. And then at the end of the week, they offered me money for gas, and I couldn't take it. I mean, that was reasonable, and I couldn't take it. Just an example. It was hard. Somebody would, want to give me money for my birthday. It was hard for me to take money for my birthday. I was a positive person in general. I mean, I called myself a Pollyanna. I wasn't really cynical or skeptical, but that is just how my nervous system was. My nervous system felt like there was a price to receiving. As children in traumatized homes, we learn the ones I need are the ones who hurt me. And that's all I knew. I learned that people were unpredictable and that safety meant self-reliance. So our nervous system fires even when there's no threat. But I have been healing, and I have healed a big part of that. I can take compliments now. I can receive generosity and kindness. I've healed my nervous system, and I've talked about that, all the ways I've healed in other videos, if you want to catch up with some of them. And now I can be vulnerable, and it's easier for me to receive all those things. But now I'm being guided by my higher self to look at the fact that ever since I became a hermit and started healing, I was on a sabbatical and I became a hermit, and I had to go and travel my inner terrain. I had to travel and understand my inner world in order to heal. I was in a deep, dark place because I didn't trust anybody. I did not trust anyone, and including myself. So there you go. I absolutely had to heal. So now the question is, and that's been been dropped in my lap, putting right in my face. Can I receive real kindness and develop lasting, kind relationships, make real connection and friendships? This is what my higher self is now saying it is time for healing around. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Because ever since I became a hermit and started on my very specific healing journey, I would say, I don't need anyone. I don't want anyone right now. Or I wouldn't even say right now. I would say, I don't want anyone, right? Because I've always had someone in my life that I was dependent on, codependent on, and I didn't want that anymore. But now my higher self is saying, there are other people out there. I'm going to get emotional. That can love you with God's love. That's what my higher self is saying. There are people out there who you can have true, kind, lasting connection with, friendships with, that won't control you and manipulate you. And if they do, if they happen to, because they're still healing something, you know how to handle that. You know how to recognize it. And I do. So there's this piece that I've been, I think, using to spiritually bypass needing or wanting a lasting relationship, friendship with someone. And it's the phrase, I have everything I need inside of me. I've been using that to spiritually bypass. And my higher self is saying, Tina, look at this. So I have. This has been slowly, at a snail's pace in the beginning, coming into my awareness as something I need to look at and work on. I never had a conscious relationship. The closest one would be the one I have now with my daughter, Sarah. She's turned 23 last week, and she is conscientious. She self-reflects. She's introspective. She contemplates her own and sees her own behavioral patterns. And so this is where I'm gotten my initial practice, having a conscious relationship. And my higher self is saying, Tina, not everyone is a narcissist. I'm going to laugh and cry at the same time because that's really where I got to the point after, 50 years of saying, I can learn how to handle this. I can learn about this. after 50 years, I was like, there's no one exists that is not traumatized. And I'm not judging. It's just that and I have said this before, I just see the whole world as an insane asylum. But my higher self is saying, now it is time to see and experience God's love through humans. My higher self is telling me that it does exist. And I want to heal. Give me a moment. So I'm asking, how can I trust that kind, mature, unwounded sharing will be reciprocated? That's kind of the scared me. I trust my higher self, source, that is God. I trust God that it is now time for me to do this. So I am going to have courage. And God is telling me that they're going to put people in front of me that are here for that reason. And I believe that. I trust that. But I'm still got a little piece of that. How can I trust that unwounded sharing, can be reciprocated? And that's huge for me right now. I do want friendship that is worthwhile. Now, in the last week or so, I have been able to uncover that true desire for that, when before, in hermit stage, I was like, no, I don't need anybody. I'm good. I got everything I need inside of me. But now I would like to have friendship that is worthwhile, that's not a trap, that doesn't come from a place of wounding, that feels safe and expansive without feeling all consuming, and to be able to feel understood and accepted. The concept of having a relationship without trauma bonds at the same time feels foreign to me. God tells me that it exists, and I choose to believe God. I have a deep faith, which leads me to trust God completely in total confidence. And now my higher self is guiding me to look at all this. I don't need to bypass it anymore. I just realized that my selfie light had been turned off the whole time. I hadn't watched the replay on that first half of this video yet, so hopefully the lighting was okay. But I am going to do an energy healing, an energy transmission today, giving us things that we can say to our inner child to help us to relax into the fact that there are humans out there who are safe to love and safe to receive love from. So go ahead and get into your comfortable position and say, I am open to receive. And the energy healing begins now. Take a few rounds of deep, long inhales, pausing at the top with a long, slow exhale. asking our spirit guides and my guardian angel to help me channel through the information, the words that we need to hear that will be for the highest good of all around healing that place within us that is been closed off for so long from receiving. We learned how to be so independent and not depend on anyone else. Asking for healing frequencies to bring down our guards and to help us believe wholeheartedly, to know it experientially, that there is friendship with other humans out there that can be worthwhile, be safe and expansive. There are people out there who will understand us and accept us and respect us. To me, that's what love is: acceptance and respect. And the healing energies are flowing through very strong at the moment. Allow yourself to receive. We now want to move into looking at relationships from an unwounded place, without thinking automatically this won't last, without thinking automatically that we need to be closed off in any way. If God tells us that we are ready to do this, we are ready for this, then we can trust in that truth, that kind, mature, and unwounded sharing will be reciprocated. And you can tell your inner child, I know it's difficult to trust. It's difficult to trust that others will reciprocate your authenticity and your honesty. Because when you were little, love came with pain. But my dear beloved inner child, you can know now that it's different. It's different now because I have healed. I decide what we give. I decide what we allow. It's not just love and light from us anymore. It's love, light, and boundaries. I've created the boundaries, healthy boundaries for us and others. And I can lean on these now to help guide us in closer friendships. We don't need to close off our heart to survive anymore. It is okay to receive. It is healthy to receive. It's time for us to step out and have healthy, interdependent relationships as humans. And with that, my dear heart-centered friends, this energy transmission comes to an end. We love you, we see you, and we honor you. Blessed be.